Peace, everyone. It's your girl Sequoia Blue back in here with another episode. We got my girl Shy Lee Ackerman in the building, and she's going to talk
Woohoo.
about LinkedIn, how to be a digital boss, and how to represent your social media marketing page the way it's supposed to be, because there's certain ways you have to market to get that product out there. So,
Yes.
yes. So I want to start with that first question. What are the easiest things I can do to shine on LinkedIn? Because a lot of people they either don't know about LinkedIn or like, what is LinkedIn for? What do we need it for? Like some people think, don't understand LinkedIn.
Look, like you said, business bosses, like if you're a business person, like LinkedIn, depending on the kind of business you're in, is a killer. If you're a career seeker, also a killer, because your LinkedIn is, this is what I tell students all the time when I do trainings for young people. I'm like, your LinkedIn profile is your handshake. It is your pre-interview before they even consider giving you an interview. It's a chance for you to stack the deck with information that shows you as a brilliant genius of whatever the thing is that you do, right?
Hmm.
So if you can tell that story on your LinkedIn summary section, which people leave basic and boring, like if you can tell that story of like, here's what I've accomplished. I had one intern that was like a bodybuilder, and I'm like, he's like,
Ooh.
that's a little weird. Like, should I put that on? I'm like, yeah, why not? That's super interesting. That gives the interviewer a chance to ask you a fun question when they're also trying to figure out what to ask you about, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I had another no, it wasn't an intern. This was an employee, like a contractor that I hired to help me with my website. And she was like a hockey expert. She was a hockey coach. And I'm like, that can't hurt when you're doing designing websites that you're a coach and you can guide people because you're doing user interviews and all that stuff. I'm like, these are things you should highlight about yourself, right? So
Hmm.
at basic sense is explain who you are, how you got to where you are, why you like the thing that you do, and how you want to help people. If you can answer those basic questions, that's the dumbest, simplest way to start with LinkedIn, like today. Uh, and I'm looking at your face. It's like, oh, it's another project, maybe. It's another thing to take to
No,
tackle. But
I
no, okay, good.
agree.
Good. But I always say if people are nervous about jumping in, because I have clients, like I coach a bunch of ladies on how to do LinkedIn for their business and all that kind of stuff. They're one of my clients. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I had one lady today. She's like, it's too much. I don't know how to do it. And she's a professional writer conveniently. So I was like, this should be easy for you. And I was like, you know what? Just put 10 minutes to it and just do what you can. Or every time you look at your LinkedIn profile, add one nice nugget about who you are and what's special about you. Maybe it's a description for a job that you had, about what you did, or a story about how you helped somebody, right? I saw you were in the customer, you do a lot of stuff with customers, right? There's probably stories there that you can highlight for whatever your business things are going to be. So that's a little taste for now.
That I like that. So, like, what if you work a regular job like me and you
Yeah.
have businesses like me? Does like what is the way? Because I've gotten so many messages from
Ugh.
people saying, "Well, what is it that you do? Like, what do you, who are you and all stuff?" Because it does jar in excitement and curiosity, which is a good thing. But then I'm like, do you add your artist as well, or and how does that work?
It's hard. This is a tricky thing. Do you put all these different complexities on there? Here's the tricky part, right? If you want to showcase who you are, great. If your company, and I don't know how, if any of your clients or companies or whatever are nervous about this, but if you're like, oh, look, I do all these other things, it's like, is she going to leave? Is she going to stay? What's going to happen, right? You don't, it's delicate, right? I have not done that. I've been basically entrepreneurial my entire career. So I can't pretend like I know what that's like, because that's a whole other can of worms. But, look, I'll say this. Like, I had a client a couple of years ago. Actually, I'm talking to her next week. I haven't talked to her in a while, but she is a matchmaker, but she's also like works at a massive healthcare company. And she was like, what do I do? Should I put it on my profile? And she was kind of sure that she was going to do something on her profile, but she's like, I don't care. Like, I've got my job. It's fine. And then she ends up highlighting what she does for a living. And then she's able to get prospects now from LinkedIn because she named it. If you don't name it, people don't see it, right? Because if someone sees you posting on LinkedIn, I don't know, like they're going to look at your profile. And if your profile doesn't give them the insights about what you do, that's going to be complicated. But you can always send them a website. Like, I know your website is very detailed and has a lot of stuff on it, right? If you want to keep it a secret, you've got that. But it's your chance to wow people, right? And if you're not worried about your job, then like it's a great platform to showcase the awesomeness that you do, which I know you do.
Yeah,
So
and I
it's
think in
delicate.
tech.
Yeah.
And I think in tech, it's a little bit different because you got so many people in tech that are, because I'm in tech, you got so many people in tech that are doing like so many different things. So it's kind of like,
Is it okay?
everybody's doing, yeah, I feel like everybody's doing it now when it comes to tech. Now, if someone's in another field, like, I don't know, HR or something, I don't know if it'll be the same. But in tech,
Okay,
most
good.
people I meet in tech are creating a game, they have another thing going on. So then I said, okay, I'm just going to add everything I do on there because I
Yes.
want people to see me. And then also, I know that eventually those businesses will be my full-time babies. So so I think
Ooh.
that
So good.
I think that it is good for people, audience, to add everything you do, because then because you never know, you might get someone that says, hey, I want you to do this. And then
Yes.
you're missing out on the opportunity because you didn't put that business on there.
Yes, you're
So,
saying this to someone who also struggled with this for a long time. So
yeah.
I love that you said that because so many people are probably gonna be like, yes. But I'm glad to hear that tech has a culture of this. But the other interesting thing too is like, let's say you want these to be for fun side projects. Like these are also
Yeah.
data points to leverage for like a new position. Like, hey, I'm so good. I built this thing that's super awesome. Imagine if I could give you those skills, right? They can see the possibilities and they can see your muscle. Cause I'm like, if you can produce a whole podcast, like what else can you do? Right? Like
Yeah.
it's another way to highlight your skill set. So I like that you said it that way because it is a very tricky topic for me. And I'm like, ooh, ooh, it's
Yeah,
hard.
because I had two different LinkedIn's when I started. I had an entertainment LinkedIn and then I had a tech LinkedIn.
Oh,
And when
it's
I tell
hard.
you, it was a lot of work to keep up with. Like, whatever, I would miss messages on one profile and I'd be like, oh, that was a really good message, and that was a month ago, because I couldn't, it's social media galore. You can't keep up with everything. So I said, you know what? I'm combining it. And if it's meant to be, a job's gonna want me, period. They're gonna
Ugh,
see the value.
ugh.
And they did, because when I added everything, I still got jobs. So I was like, I got
There you
they might
go.
ask about it. They might say, oh, you do music. Oh, that's fun. You're gonna sing around the office? Like, they'll joke about it. Okay,
Like how
cool.
nice.
Yeah. Like, I'll sing around the office.
I like this entertainer thing because like how many people have the intersection of like the entertainment that you do in tech, right? There could be a nice balance there.
It
It's
really
funny.
is.
Yeah. Like his that's the skill set, right? Like how many people have the mutual skill
Yeah.
set there, right?
Yeah, because it's still technical. Music is technical in a way when you're doing the editing and promoting the Canvas.
Uh
Canvas is technical, believe it or not. I was thinking like Canvas weren't technical. Like, I mean, but then I meet so many people that don't understand what I'm saying. I'm like, Canvas easy. No, it's not. I'm like, what? Canvas easy? But they say it's too technical. So it's like, it's yeah, but it's just certain things I've learned. I'm like, okay, so everything is with each other. Everything flows with each other to make you an expert at what you're doing. And.
Yes, it all weaves into the story you're telling about people, and the more they can see that you're someone that likes to accomplish things, the better, right? It's great. But
Yeah.
I also like, you're all about like let's be vulnerable, let's be real. Like my like mentor coach, whatever you want to call her, like has literally gave me the speech that you gave me like a year ago and like I was like I literally was like, she was like, I do sometimes I support people with online events. It's not my main business, but like people know that I'm
Oh.
good at technical stuff and that I can do production for online events and all this weird stuff. She's like, Shiley, put it on your website because I know people need this
Mhm.
service. Just do it.
Mhm.
And I was like, but I don't really, I'm very focused on like, this is my business. My main business is where it brings me my income. But like, this is like, yeah, if it happens and people know about it, they'll talk and they'll send me over. So I put it on my website and I started talking about it. Like I talked about it like the next day because it was like fresh in my mind. And the next day I got a client that hired me for that plus my
What?
regular services. I was like, okay, great. So
Wow.
like, look, it doesn't happen all the time, but like it felt nice that I was like, okay, if I tell people what the possibilities are and if I add it to my website, it means that people can now search it and say yes to it.
I
But
love
I'm
that.
still anxious as hell about all of it. So like I love that
Yeah.
you're empowered about it. Great, because it took me years to be like that. I still have two websites. I have a personal website and a business website. So that's she's been trying to get me to
Oh,
merge those for years. And I was like,
you
I
should,
know. I'm like,
because
coach
they'll
me now.
make
I'm like, I don't know.
I've told people told me to do coaching. I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I don't
No.
know if I can do
And
coaching.
look,
I
it's
might one
gotta be
day,
the
but
right thing for you, right? But
it
I'm like,
has to be.
we're learning from each other and I love it.
Yes,
Like, this
I
is a
love it.
great, awesome show.
Yeah, I know everybody likes my shows. They say I got, but it's probably because I'm always hyper. But
My people. You're my people.
so
I love it.
yeah, yes, you my people too. So I
Yes.
want to know. So
Oh,
social media, right? Like, when it comes to, let's say somebody's trying to be a life coach, right? And
sure.
they're trying to get clients and they're like, you know what? I don't want to be at a regular job. I just want to get clients. Or maybe they're at a regular job and they're trying to get
Ooh.
out and they want to get some clients. Would ads be the best way if they have the money?
I don't love ads. Now, if you call an ads expert that knows what they're doing, like, and you want to pay them, like, that's a different story. All the stuff I do is not dependent on ads. It's dependent on relationships and like
Ooh.
relationships and good information that the people that you want to serve serve.
Mm.
I've heard story after story about like I had one of my earlier prospects from years ago was this insurance firm, and like I was underpriced at that time. It was like such a cheap deal. They missed out on it, but like I didn't know how to sell, and I went in there, and he's like telling me, he's like, yeah, like I really need help with my marketing, blah blah blah, and he's like, well, I accidentally spent $600 on ads because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, you
Ooh.
shouldn't do them by yourself unless you're really wanting to learn how to do ads on your own. It's like a mess, and so I don't touch those,
Mhm.
but I'm sure they're very valuable for certain people.
Yeah.
But I would always start with this. If I'm, let's say I'm still in a job, like I always tell, like I told this to my personal trainer, because all my personal trainers are always like, oh, I want to do something on social media. I'm like, let me tell you,
Ooh.
start keeping the list of who you think you're going to be able to serve like long before you quit. And also try to figure out what they need long before you quit, so you can have a book of business before you quit. And I don't know if I should be the one saying this, because I went straight to like working for myself in various capacities after
Hey,
college. So I am not a
that's
9 to
good.
5er, but yeah, start, the sooner you start the better, because I think unless you know how to sell, it's going to take a long time to find the people, and the longer that you have trying to figure out what that business is, the easier I think it'll be, because
Mhm. Yeah,
I did
'cause
a lot of struggle bus years before I got to this point. So if you can
no,
do that while getting compensated, like probably a safer bet. So
yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I just started learning digital marketing myself, and
ooh,
I've realized I used to do marketing all wrong in the past. I was a bonehead, and I didn't do a lot of it when in the past, but I realized I realize the right way. So if people want to do digital marketing courses to get the clients faster, hey, I recommend it. And
yes.
if you don't have the money to do digital marketing, or maybe you can't pay for the course, or maybe you don't understand it, right? Then you can go organic and learn how to build relationships, like you said.
That's the thing that's worked in all of history. Like the same things I teach on social media, like were what worked in business 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. It's the same thing. It's like you have people, they trust you, and they tell their friends that they trust you. You can make that
Hmm.
faster if all of that information and all that trust is on a website, and all that like tips and insights and brilliance is clearly noted on a website. That's
Hmm.
the real magic of all of this stuff. That's to me
Hmm.
is the only thing you can guarantee your success on the internet, is like the relationships. Now, is that easy? No, it takes a long
Oof.
time. So there
Yeah.
are other hacks and other marketing courses and stuff, but I like to boil it to things that will apply today and will apply to like 1,000 years from now. So whatever the social media is of 1,000 years, everything I teach will still work there. Good
Yes, it will.
people, good information, match them together, right? But a lot of people don't have the network and they don't have the contacts. And unless your stuff is super juicy, like you might not get a ton of organic traffic your way. So
Yeah.
getting your own people is a lot easier. Those are, at least those are the clients I serve. They already have their network, right? If somebody's starting from
Ooh. Okay.
zero, it's a lot harder for them to get started on it if they don't know, who they're talking to and where their people are. So I'm
Mm.
always very delicate with folks. Like if they're coming in new, like my focus of the work that I do with them is showing them how to use the tools of the web and how the ideas that they need to keep in mind as they're learning and growing.
Mm.
But I think you said something really good here. And this is very much like the Sherpa philosophy of your social media Sherpa.com is you can learn it. And I think one of the best things about social media is that anybody can learn it. You don't have to spend a penny on it. You can literally just try and do it. I went to school for education. So I'm a teacher, like in my background.
Oh wow.
And I learned marketing because some person bestowed the opportunity to work for free on their social media platform. I thought it was a big honor. They took advantage of me, but it's fine. Long time ago now. Like, but I learned so much from that, and then I used that to end up getting paid for it. So you don't
Mm.
have to pay for a crazy expensive course to do it. There's tons of people who are doing it for free online, but also you just doing it will teach you so much. At least that I made my
Wow.
university students do. I was like, let me just get them to try. And then they got insight, right? So it's
Wow.
doable. So if you're listening, it's
It is
possible.
doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is crazy. I tell people just do organic, do a post a day. And
Whoa.
one of
Whew.
the questions I have is like, how do people manage their social media? Because like my thing is with Instagram, TikTok, what else is Pinterest, all these people. And then
Oh.
you're also possibly working, or some people have whole families and stuff and all this going on. Like, how do you stay on it? Because a lot of times people get so tired, or they feel like, hey, no one's engaging in my
Right.
stuff.
It's not
So,
worth it. Why would they keep
yeah,
trying if it's not
yeah,
worth it?
yeah.
So this is why I like to try to focus on what can you control, because you can't control the algorithms of these platforms. You can't control it. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's impossible to do it. But what we can control is that like the 50 people that you think can hire you see the stuff.
Mm.
So if you have them on an email list, if they're maybe let's say there's like 1,000 people from your network of people that you've worked with before, they could hire you for something. Like use that first, right? You
Mm,
already have an
yeah.
audience there. It's a lot easier to get that. Now, granted, people are like blowing up on TikTok, which is great. There's like, I have a cousin that has 400,000 followers on TikTok. I'm like, bless
Oof.
this guy, like good for him. But
Wow.
it's possible, but it's also like it takes that work, like doing it every day. Like I had a client that wanted to do it, and here's where it's delicate because discouragement is like is hard. Does discouragement, is that a word? Getting discouraged.
Yeah,
So
discouragement.
yeah. So she wanted to do TikTok every day. Now she's 23, so she's young and hip and all that stuff, but she's
Oh.
also like doesn't always love the social media stuff. And so she did it every day for like a week and a half. And I told her, I warned her, I was like, you're gonna quit at some point. Not that I don't believe in her. I believe in her. I believe in my clients so much, but I also know the pitfalls that are coming their way before they
Yeah.
do them. I said,
Mhm.
you're gonna get tired of this and you're gonna get bored. And I would say save as much content and hoard it because some days you're gonna hate life and you're never gonna want to post. So have something ready to go just in case. And after like a week and a half, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna post one later." And eventually, she got discouraged because she didn't see the results. And I was like,
Mm.
you gotta love it, and you gotta stick with it for it to
Yeah.
maybe do something for you." But the problem with her is that she had a bunch of followers on LinkedIn that already loved and adored her, right? So the fact that she was
Mm.
spending all this energy on a platform she didn't have that on yet, it wasn't really where she's gonna get the most result. So we
Ah.
moved her energy to where she could get the result, where her people were. Yeah,
Ding ding. You got to
ding
find your
ding.
people, your tribe. And
Yes.
that's the thing. Like maybe TikTok might not be your tribe, because for some people like me, I don't want to talk every minute on a
No.
video all the time. Like I
That's
like
how
my
you think.
podcast thing, but I don't want to be on there on TikTok all the time. Hey, this is going on. I'm just not that
Gotta be
person. But
right.
I do admire the people that do it. And I love watching TikTok. I think
Oh,
TikTok's great. But I'm like, okay, I can't do TikTok videos all the time and then have to edit them, and I don't. I'd rather just do podcasting. So then I said, okay,
aha.
there's just different ways to go about finding your tribe. People think they have to
Yes.
do everything. You listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, he's like,
Oh
go
yeah.
everywhere, post and be crazy,
It's
and that's
hard.
I'm like, Gary, that's great advice, but they have to go what's best, the best platform for them, and
Yes.
and you can still win. You can still win
You
just
could
on
still win.
LinkedIn, even, or you can just win on YouTube, even.
Yeah.
So
Prioritize your efforts.
yeah.
I loved Gary Vee for a long time. Like he's the reason I was on TikTok in 2016, but now he's gotten a little weird, so I'm like a little. But I was 2016. I was like, this guy is saying everything I've been saying for years. I'm like, this guy gets
Yeah.
it. And then he kind of got a little weird, and I was like, whatever. I'm not in the NFT thing, but the
Oh
balance
yeah.
here that we're acknowledging is the balance of like finding a platform in which you like the content. So if you're not a video person, like I have like a very introverted author that I'm working with, like video is
Mm,
probably not his jam. But writing blogs is. So like finding the right platform, and it doesn't always have to be social media, right? I had a client on this platform called Mastodon. I'd never heard of Mastodon before, but that's a platform for his community that seems to work for him, and he's got a really engaged population on there.
I might check
So
that out.
yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. It's like obscure for techies, but
Oh.
you never know. But like, I'm just saying, like, there's different communities, right? Like one of my
Yeah.
clients, it was Psychology Today because that's where all the therapists go, right? Like, I don't think of
Mm,
that as a typical social media platform, but like
yeah.
that's where her people are. So
Mm,
it really just depends, like where you need to show up. So it's where you need to show up, where your people are that you think your demographic is, or where you have your network, and then where
mm,
you can put out content that's in the form that favors you best. Like I love talking and reacting to people. So like, hey,
mm.
podcast, like let me go talk to people on shows. But writing is my nemesis. So like I'm trying
Man,
to avoid
like
it.
I can write a story, like I can create a fictional story all day. But if you ask me to do
Oh
content writing,
no. So
no. Like
make things like fictional stories then. There you go.
like I
I don't
have to
know.
make the whole thing up. Like if I was to talk about what Barry did down the street just to sell an idea or coaching or whatever, I'm gonna have to do a story. It wouldn't be a real because I don't know. Like it's weird because if you tell me to, it's just a hard thing for me to do. And I think content writing is a big thing right now because a lot of people are paying for a content writer because they just don't know what to write. Because I see this guy on LinkedIn. He's very popular, but he always just writes out something every day about business and marketing. And I'm like, how does he come up with all this stuff? Like what is going on? But he said he became a millionaire from LinkedIn, literally just writing about
Yeah,
like marketing and stuff. And I can't remember his
what?
name right now, but
There's a
he's
million of
definitely
them.
good with writing. He's good with writing.
But like
And
that's your skill set, and they double down on their
that's
skill
his skill
set,
set. Yep.
right? So
Yep.
you double down it because I think look, it's funny because like you're talking about a lot of things that I've evolved on over the last like year of like I hate writing, yet I felt so much pressure to do written content on LinkedIn, and I would spend hours editing a text blurb. But now, granted, my content
Oh.
did
my
very
god.
well because I was insane. But I was like, I like making videos. So I was like, you know what? I need to leverage the fact that I'm a video person, and I just make the captions now a little less intense because I know that
Mm,
people like my personality. So like I found a really easy way to like produce videos quickly and getting them
mm.
transcribed and produce like and look pretty and like without any of the editing because I also hate the editing. And like it's
Yeah.
working for me. Like getting rid of that perfectionism. I'm like, you know what? People like my video content. I was like, fantastic. But like you said on TikTok, one of the best things that you don't have to be totally formal on TikTok. You can be a little more loose, but you can be a little more real. And
Yeah, I like that.
so, and I've been on TikTok for a long time, but I also like retired TikTok in May, or at least I quit because I was addicted, very, very addicted. And so I've
Oh,
barely gone
yeah.
on TikTok since May, and I am very impressed with
That's like
myself.
Social Dilemma, huh? The Social Dilemma
Oh
documentary
yeah. Oh god, that's a
where
whole other can of worms.
yeah,
But
that's
it,
a whole
it
nother topic, but yeah, I think it's okay
ignorance
to
is
take
bliss for me.
breaks from social media sometime. Like I think it's very important because it's our mental health. We got to take a break and just step back, you know. And
Yes.
I think it's okay. You're not going to lose. You're not going to your website's going to still be up, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
I mean, if you're organic marketing, of course, you probably don't want to take a break. You're kind of like, oh, now
That's what I'm thinking
if you
here.
have
I'm like,
ads running, it's
ugh.
like if you have ads running, it's like, you got good ads running. But for people that don't have ads running, you have to be on there almost every week, at least 3 times.
Kind of. So here's what I'll say. I'll preface this that like, yes, on certain platforms, like they'll say, like, oh, Instagram, it used to be like you have to post 3 pictures a week. And then on TikTok, it's like post 3 TikToks a day. Like
Yep.
there's some coach who's selling that right now, and they're probably not wrong, but
Mm,
also the people that are buying that are probably not prepared for how much effort it's gonna take. Right. So what I
yeah.
tell I know you're looking at your face, you're like, you've been there.
Yeah.
So
I've
what
been
I
there.
tell my clients is find a balance that you can stick with. Like find something you can do because I'll be weird. I'll tell you my weird secret is that like on LinkedIn for like I've been posting consistently on LinkedIn for like 3.5 years. Like it's kind of crazy. Actually, that's
Wow.
kind of wild for me to say that out loud. But I only did what I had the capacity to do, but I stuck with it. So for me, I can only pull off once a month. So for once a month, I posted a something or a video or something on LinkedIn, which is not correct on LinkedIn. Like that
Oh,
guy, the writer guy, is probably like,
yeah.
don't do it. But nobody in my network is consistent. So I know every single person in my network knows I exist and knows that I'm up to something because most people will quit, right? I'm making
Mm,
up a statistic, but I assume 90% of people who try to do anything good on social media will quit and not be consistent. So I know I'm winning in that regard. And then I upped it to every other week because I was like, I can do it. I make videos faster now and I've got some
mm.
good energy. So I always tell
Yeah.
my clients find something that you can stick with, right? So if you and a lot of them like that lady with the Twitter, like or sorry, with the TikTok, like she was doing it every day, and I was like, you're gonna get tired. And she
Mm,
did. So if she spaced that out, maybe put one a week out, yeah, it's not the most optimized social media strategy, but my clients are not the kind of people that they want to be full-time social media managers, maybe the Gary V vision, right? They're people who have
yeah. Yeah.
businesses, but they're people who also have a clientele already. They have people that refer them business that they're not staying in touch with. So I always ask these people, I'm like, how are you staying in touch with your past clients and your referrers? And they're like, well, I can be better. And I'm like, that's your first
Oh,
place. That's the
yeah.
first place where you need to put in energy. Now, granted, if you're a new business, that's a little bit harder if you don't have that base already.
Hmm.
But a lot of the people that I work with already do, and that's what they need to do. They need to show up to them, remind them, and educate them on whatever it is the thing is that they do.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I like that. And also, I wanted to talk about what is B2B marketing because I keep seeing
Ooh,
B2B, right? And I'm
business
like,
to business.
yeah, and I'm just like, okay, that's a big thing on LinkedIn. Like,
Oh, yeah.
is that and I saw there was ads about it too. There's some ads out. Like,
Yeah, I
what's your
mean, what is it?
thoughts
What
on that? What's your thoughts on that? The marketing and the B2B.
you mean like B2B is like a concept, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, like a concept. Like,
so
explain
look,
to the audience what it is. Yeah.
oh, but the audience is so business to businesses or businesses that serve other businesses, right? So my business,
Yeah.
my clientele are not like everyday people living their best life. I mean, sometimes they are. Like I got
Mhm.
weirdly been hired for like passion projects this year from like folks who are just like, I just want to figure out this passion project. I was like, okay, great, let's talk about it. But I also a lot of my clients are businesses that are trying to sell more, get more clients, whatever. So LinkedIn is considered like a really good spot for that because the audience of people and they're all a lot of them are businesses, right? There's also the career world, right? But there's also
Mm,
businesses who sell to other businesses, right? So the guy you were talking about who's a writer, he's
mhm,
probably selling to a consumer that wants to figure out, or maybe other businesses that want to figure out how to do the writing thing. So
mm.
that's what business is. So for me, like all my target clients are probably also checking LinkedIn on a regular basis and probably could use some LinkedIn tips from the Sherpa. So
Yeah,
that's where
go
I put my
yeah,
energy. But
go
not
hit
all
her up.
businesses, but most businesses. What?
Yeah, I said I told him to hit you up,
Yeah, that's what
contact
it is.
you. But yeah, okay, that's good because a lot of people don't know what that is, and
Yeah.
I still was like confused on it, but now I understand more about
A
it.
little bit, yeah. Whatever you wanna know, I'll tell you. And there's also B2C, which is business to consumer, right? So, like,
Okay, oh,
somebody is
that
buying
one. Okay, that
right,
was
at
yeah,
the store, that's a consumer product, right? Somebody that's gonna buy Noom, like the weight loss app, that's a consumer product.
yeah,
That's business to consumer, right? But somebody that's buying payroll software is a business, it's a business selling to another business, right? Because like an everyday
mm.
person doesn't need payroll software. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, because that's interesting. There's so many things on LinkedIn that you can utilize, y'all. Like y'all gotta get down with LinkedIn. Because I talk to people all the time, like, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. They be like, what's LinkedIn? So it's like I think it's important for you to be on LinkedIn if you have a business. And these are some of these people are
Yes.
entrepreneurs, you
Yes.
know, and
Yes.
and like I said, that's why we don't have we need more coaches out in this world because there's so many different things people need things
Yes.
for. Like they need somebody to coach them on LinkedIn like what you're doing. They don't know what the heck it is and what to do. They don't
Yes.
know they don't even know how to add anything on it. So it's just so many different things I've
I
learned.
mean,
So it's and it's okay
one day at a
because
time.
you start where you are, but it's like it's so
Exactly.
many coaches that's needed because of these things. Like even just uploading your book on Kindle and just
Oh, I
certain
don't know
things
that.
where
Wow.
you can
Yeah.
yeah, my books on I uploaded my books on there and it's easy to me, but I
Ooh.
realized that it's not simple to everyone. And there's still little things that's kind of quirky to me where I'm like, oh, I gotta pay a Fiverr guy to fix this. Let's
Bless
edit it
Fiverr
here.
for that.
I love Fiverr. It's my buddy.
Oh,
Um,
man. They're cool. I've toured their headquarters once. It was very cool. They took me in. It was
what?
awesome. I have a very weird relationship with Fiverr. It's funny you say that. I use Fiverr water bottles.
Oh,
I have, like
oh, neat. I
I
like
have
that
my
bottle.
Fiverr backpack. This is not this is random, but this backpack was from Fiverr. It is old now.
Oh, that's so
I
neat.
have a
Oh,
relationship with them. So
I would love to go to Fiverr and be like, "Hey, what's up? I want to thank y'all for helping me." Because a lot of tasks that I had to do, I just went to Fiverr. It has helped me out so many times. It saved me. Um,
yes.
and this, so how do you hack happiness? This is a good question.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because happiness, is it a choice to you or is it just,
It's a mindset because and I'll say this because like I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to cure everyone's problems, but like it's a mindset because even if like so, and I maybe I shouldn't say this because I haven't grieved like other people have grieved, but like even if the worst thing is happening in your life, it's the mindset of like, okay, it can get better, or I need to
mm,
think positively or something. It's that mindset that like I think, and I'm not a like a mindset coach or anything, but it's like that headspace of like, oh my gosh, I'm
mhm.
trying to be in this state that even if everything is bad, I know that things can turn up. That's
Yeah.
the mindset.
And
So the happiness hack is this, and I've been doing this for like more than a decade, maybe longer, different versions of it. But I essentially bucket all the goodness that I hear from others about me in a folder. In a like, in my current the current form is it's in a like a Google slideshow. So let's say like you were like, "Oh, Shiley, was great having you as a podcast. You really inspired me, and I learned, and I actually executed on a few of the tips that you shared. Look at my new LinkedIn updates." And I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that was so sweet." It's like, so like I'll save that, I'll screenshot it, and I'll put it in this folder so that let's say I'm having a bad, sad, miserable day. I look
mhm.
through it and I see like I still have like 70, 80 slides of like nice things that people have said to me. And I read it and it makes me feel a little bit better. Is it gonna cure depression? No. I don't know how to cure depression, but like it can make you feel a little bit better on a really
Yeah.
bad day. And it's nice. And I used to also make videos for myself after doing remarkable things and say, Shiley, you just did the craziest thing. You just facilitated a room full of college students to do all this great stuff and they loved you. Just don't forget. I'm like, don't forget it. You're great. And then I'll watch it later when I'm like, I don't believe in myself. Life is hard. It's a struggle. And I'm like, just watch the video. And I'm like, oh,
Yep.
Shiley from 3 years ago thinks you can do it. So look, who better to
I like
believe than
that.
yourself? So so
I
that's
like
how I
that.
hack happiness right there. That's one of
That's a
the
good
ways.
way to do it because every day is something new and our minds can tell us all these things, but if we sit here and we look at all the good things that we have going on and write them down, then you say, well, maybe things aren't too bad. Things can change, right? It's a
That's
client or
big.
just, you had a good day at work, maybe your boss helped you more than he did normally. I mean, just little things like can make, and that's the
Yes.
thing. People got to look at the little things in life because
Yes.
hey, hey, the little things make up to become the big things. And then next thing you know, you end up happy. Like, why was I upset in the first place? And I do that all the time. Like, why was I even upset? That was dumb. And mean, I mean, like that's kind of, I shouldn't have done that. And it's just a conversation with yourself daily about, you know, what you have.
Yes. Like a
Yeah.
big part of happiness, I think, from like some of the scientists is gratitude, is appreciating what you have, which is exactly what you just said.
Yes.
Like if you can look at the things in your life and say, wow, this is amazing, great. Or even if you can look at your life years ago and say, hey, wow, look at how far I've come. It is huge. And I'm saying this to you as I'm saying this to
Yeah.
myself. Um,
Yeah.
the other happiness hack that I did not author myself, but I like legitimately want to make a digital version of this hack so I can give it to
Mm,
people, but I can give it to you verbally, which will be nice for you and your listeners. It's very
yes.
similar to what you said. I learned this from a rabbi who learned this from his rabbi, but it's not a Jewish thing,
Ooh.
though I am Jewish. It's applicable to everybody. Actually, I told people this on Periscope like 5 years ago, and some lady
Oh,
did it. She
Periscope.
called me back. She was like, "I did the thing." I remember Periscope was so rest in peace.
That was
Periscope.
so
It was so good.
cool.
Love live streaming. But here's the hack, right? This guy says that go home, go sit. Actually, his name is Rabbi Moshe Zeldman. I need to say his name because I got to reference him because I did not write this, but I take ownership of it sometimes. I think I have a video on this somewhere on YouTube, but it's essentially go down, sit down for an hour, give yourself a full hour, get a piece of paper, or I did it on the computer because I like computers, write down. This is kind of like what you said. Write down everything you're grateful for, from like my mom, my dad, cousins, my pillow, like weird things like pillows, like the fact that I have food, your job, like, the cute shoes that you own, dresses, whatever it is, glasses, right?
Mhm.
Every little weird thing. Sit down for an hour. He said after 15 minutes, you're going to be tired and you're like, I don't know what else to write. But you push yourself for the full hour. That's like the hardest part of this whole thing. And then every day for the next 30 days, you reread the list every single day. Take the 5 minutes to reread the list, and then you add like one more thing every single week.
Ooh.
You do this for 30 days. And then what do? Do you want to ask me what happens after 30 days? This is what you
Yep.
do. I don't tell you what, there's a part two to this. Or there's part one, part two, and there's a part three. You do this and you find someone like me or this Rabbi Moshe Zeldman guy, if you can find him on the internet, and you ask him what's the next step, and then we tell you because it's a secret. Unless you do the first part, you can't find out the second part. The second part is very nice, but it also puts it. The whole result is that it puts your life into perspective and makes you see the good in your life rather than all the negative. And so I did this once like 10 years ago, and then I redid it last summer for my business, and it like is a very good game changer. So if you're feeling icky, if you can push yourself to do this, it'll make you feel better. And very few people take him up on it. Out of the thousands of people, I think he said
Wow.
15,000 people he's shared this with. I think he said like a couple hundred have reached out and actually done part two. So if you are a determined person that's willing to do this, you're probably determined enough to make a business work or do whatever your dreams are. So thank you for
Mhm.
listening to my TED Talk here on this
No,
happiness
I
hacking.
love this because my podcast is all about alchemy and becoming true to who you are and mastering
Ooh.
yourself, because so many people believe they can't do something, but anybody can do anything they want to do. And if you
Oh,
have to get a coach
beautiful.
like you to get
Oh,
help, then get a coach. It's okay. And if you
yes.
don't have the money to get the coach, and go on YouTube, research, and when you're
YouTube,
ready, and
yes.
then if you still need a coach after that, after you get your money up, then you go see a coach because that's what they're here for.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm grateful for
Yes.
coaches because
Oh, so
I had
you
a
love
coach
them.
before too myself. Yeah, just for mindset when I was in my early 20s, well, mid 20s. She helped me out a lot. So it's just certain things, and my life has changed forever from that. Um,
Yes. I
and then
agree.
I also want to dive into Facebook pages. Do you feel like it's important, or do you feel like Facebook is nah 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 nah?
Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of my knowledge is less based on the platforms and more based on like my clientele. I usually, if I'm going to tell anybody anything about Facebook, if they're going to like work on it, is I look to see how engaged their list is. So if there's not a lot of people who are already engaging with their posts and it's not where they're getting a lot of business, I don't always worry about it so much.
Mm.
So if you want the nitty gritty on like what the current Facebook algorithm is, like I'm not the person for that. But if someone is posting on there, I can tell you like what's good about their post, what needs to be changed, and all that kind of good
Mm.
stuff. And a lot of times, a lot of the posts that you post on LinkedIn, if you post an outside link, it's not going to do as well, or if it's too long, or
Oh.
too many links, or too many descriptions. Like it depends. There's a lot of factors, right? And I'm not as
Mm.
up to date as I was when I was managing more Facebook pages when I was a freelancer, like many, many, many years ago. But
Wow.
actually, I was in the Facebook page world before the algorithms like went to shit. Like
Oh yeah, with the iPhone, or what is it, the iOS changes or
well, not
something?
even that. I'm talking about like 6, 7 years ago when organic reach went down because it used to be that
Oh
like everybody
yeah.
would see your posts.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it was great. Now
Yeah.
it's like unless you pay for it, they're not going to really boost you up. But a lot of people have boring
Mhm.
stuff on their pages, so it's not even worth their time. So no, it's true. Like it feels like a black hole of stuff, which is
Yeah,
why I make
yeah.
sure like the clients I work with. if they want to be, if they're the easiest people that can win is if they have, let's say, 100 people that care about their business, and those 100 people are following them. Actually, do you want a story about this from a business page perspective? I do have a business
Yeah,
page story.
sure.
So this is a few years ago now. I had two clients that started right around the same time. One of them, so I gave them both the same advice. The advice was, if you're going to make a page, and this can apply to any social media platform, but in this case it was Facebook pages. If you're going to make a page and you're going to invite people, don't do that thing where you just like randomly invite all your friends to like it with a blank, boring page.
Oh.
People do that all the time. So I always tell people
Mhm.
this, like, make sure your page has information on it and it filled out, and you tell people what you solve, maybe all your links, and make sure there's a little bit of content on there. So when they look at the page, they're gonna be like, oh, I know what Sequoia's up to. Like, am I saying that right, by the way, Sequoia? Is that right?
Yep, it's perfect. You said it
Yes,
perfectly.
amazing. I'm like, oh, I want to see what Sequoia's up to. So like, let me go, let me go see what's on the page, and because they'll see that you invited them, and it's like, oh, this is so interesting. A lot of people don't fill out a lot of good information there, and also when you ask people personally to like the page, when you DM them and say, hey, like, it's Sequoia here, like, you're my good friend from XYZ Club, like, would you be able to like this page? I'm working on this new thing. I'm working on my, my amazing card game for couples. Like, come like it. It's very different, right? When you're saying a personal message, because people feel like, one, you care
Yeah.
about them, and two, you open the door for conversation so they can ask you questions about it, and three, they think, wow, like, you reached out to me personally, like, that's so special. Most people just like spam add you to things. Like, I have a lady that I look up to a lot in her business, and she's been doing this, like, auto tag people in all of her posts on Facebook, and it's
Mm.
it's getting in front of me, which is like a brilliant hack to get in front of me. But now I think she's an annoying spammer because she's also texted me when she wasn't supposed to text me, and I've already
Oh,
unsubscribed. So it makes
no.
me hate her brand, which
Mhm.
is unfortunate. So here's the story, right? So these two companies started at the same time. One was a chess school, and one of them was like an eco-friendly housing project, also kind of a passion project, less so a business.
Mhm.
So I told them both the same advice, like, be personal, invite people to like your page, and then also maybe have some content there that speaks to your target audience. The chess school
Mhm.
needed to talk to moms because moms were paying for chess programs. Yet all of his content was speaking to his chess buddies. He spam
Mhm.
added the 300 people on his list with a very empty business page, right? And when you
Mm.
look at every single post he made thereafter trying to promote his business on social media, very few people liked or commented. Now you go to the other page
Mm.
that only had 60 people following it who did what I told them to do, and every single post, likes, comments, engagement, stuff. And I was
Mm.
like, well, because people know you care. And when you care about them, they're going to want to care about you. And this is, granted, this has probably
Mm.
helped me build my audience on LinkedIn, right?
Wow.
They have real people that they care about who are going to support them engaging with their stuff. It's weirdly simple. It could work on any platform, but that's the difference.
That makes sense though, because I had, I'm not a big fan of Facebook, and I really didn't want a private profile again or anything. But I said I gotta do this for business, so I got back on Facebook page. I got a page, and I do, I promote my dating card game called Dating Assassins. And the
Yeah.
crazy thing is, I do a lot of TikTok remake videos of people talking about dating. Anything about dating, I share.
Ooh.
So, and I've gotten some sales from that, and
Oh,
also
yay.
I ran some ads because I took some Facebook marketing training
Oh,
because I
good.
didn't
So you
know.
took classes. Good.
Yes, and
Because
I'm
I need
still
to go
taking
blind.
them. I was like, I'm not, because I messed up years ago, and I wasn't even on a major level, but now I'm on another level. I'm like, I
Oh,
got to make
good.
sure this
Yay.
works. So I was like,
Whew.
let me make sure this works. And I'm gonna tell anybody out here, if you do digital marketing, please, if you don't have the money to pay 5,000 to somebody, go get training on Coursera, get training. They'll teach you how to do it. Because then I was able to get some sales with just a small amount of money, because I didn't even do the big
Good.
boy money yet. But just a small amount of money I did, I got some few sales.
Whew.
So,
You got to teach me
and
some things. Woo. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, hey, we can teach each other, like Zoom calls, hey,
Let's
because
go.
I need to probably up my LinkedIn game, because I'm like, I don't know I'll be sharing quotes, girl. I'm just a
I'll give
quote
you
girl.
tips.
I'm
I'll
just
give
gonna
you tips
share a
right here
quote.
on call if you want. So I'm here for it.
All I know how to do is share quotes on LinkedIn, and
Well,
people
we'll
do
we'll
like
work on
them.
it. We'll work on it. We got you some insights.
I think I'll probably talk about mindset, because that's one of my. If I go on LinkedIn, mindset, because it's
Ooh,
safe for my job and safe for me. Like, that's just safe,
I like
talking about
it.
mindset,
I
and
like
motivational stuff. So that's what I would do on LinkedIn if I start content
yes.
writing, because I might take a content writing class. I'm not sure, or copywriting class. You know what? I kept saying content writing. I meant copywriting. So I'm gonna take a copywriting course, and then I can actually start becoming better with that. And I think other people should take copywriting course too if they really want to start getting
Ooh.
shazzy, because those tools that they have now, like, I think there's an AI bot now. I forgot what the
Oh, there's
name is, but
so many AI copywriting tools. There's like a million of them.
yeah, I think it was copyright.ai I did a trial with,
Okay.
and I said, "Oh." They wrote me a letter to send to people about dating assassins for me, but I
Did
had
it
to change
work?
some stuff. I
Was
did
it
get
good
some
enough?
bites. I got some bites, shockingly, but I did have to tweak it. After they wrote it, I tweaked it. So I got a few bites and stuff from some people that was like, okay, we'll promote your game, whatever. But it was like, I said, this kind of works. Now, I did AI, copyright.ai. So I'm not sure if it works for the other, other ones, but
They're all
that one
related
was,
and different. So,
yeah, because the other one was Jarvis, and I didn't even try Jarvis, but um, I think that's someplace somebody can start if they want to get some help, a little bit of a
ooh.
push.
I like
So,
that.
yeah.
As somebody who hates writing, like I feel like I should love these tools, but I've been so hesitant because I'm like, it needs to be from my heart. But also, I don't know, there's a new service that I found that apparently will write. I mean, there's a lot of services that probably do this, but you pay like a fee and then they'll write the content for you. And I was like, ooh.
Oh,
And they gave me like a free trial, I guess. I don't know. What is it called? Shoot, I don't even know what it's called. I just got onto it like a week ago, but they gave me like
that's
a
interesting.
free 500 word something. But I also am like very nervous. I'm like, it has to come from me. But I'm also I hate copywriting, so I should just pay someone to do it for me. It'll be great. I just actually just hired someone to make me a landing page this week. So I'm like, great. I'm
Oh,
like, I need help. I'm like,
nice.
I hate this so much. But
Yeah, because that's true.
no, but yeah, like I like what you like. I like that you experimented with ads, and I like that you have learned the things because I it terrifies me.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
intimidating
oh
because I was intimidated at first. I was like, I don't, I was just so nonchalant about Facebook ads and everything. But then I said, you know what? I want to win. And also, I want to help
yeah,
other artists and other entrepreneurs to be able to monetize their stuff and get out there.
yes,
Because, because I'm an introvert, believe it or not. So it's like,
really,
yeah, I'm an introvert. So,
ooh,
so I was like, that's why ads have to be for my go-to. Um, but yeah, so also, let's see what else I
oh
wanted
yeah,
to
LinkedIn.
ask
You want
you.
nuggets on your LinkedIn content? I'll look at it if you
Oh
want.
yeah, give me some nuggets on
I
it.
am all about nuggets. Wait, did I find you? I had you on here a minute ago. Okay.
Yeah, Sequoia. I think it's still Sequoia Crompton Night.
Wait, is
Yeah.
this here? I was just looking at your profile. I'm like, where did it go? Okay,
Oh,
SEQOSIQ.
SIQUOYIA.
There we go. Is this you? Did it come up? Oh, I had you a minute ago. I love that it went away. I'm like, disappear. I'm gonna blame LinkedIn for this, even though it's not LinkedIn's fault. Okay, so where do your graphics on Canva? Because Canva is really fun. Did you say something about Canva
Yeah,
earlier?
Canva, that's where I do my graphics and
Canva's cool.
even videos.
Oh, right, they have videos now.
Yeah.
I got into some video, a new video platform that got me excited called Clipchamp, and I'm like, it's simple and it's
Ooh,
dumb. I don't like editing. I mean, I
me
can
neither.
do it, but I realized I used to spend 15 hours editing one stupid video, and I was like, and it was great. The video killed, but I'm like, for 15 hours, not worth it. I'm like, I need to change something.
Yeah, because I was
Okay,
thinking
let's
about
see.
doing stock footage and editing it into one, but then I said, you know what, that's gonna be too tedious for me right now.
Let's see. Where are your posts? I'm trying to see your posts. Do you post on
Um,
LinkedIn?
Not a lot. I usually just post when I finish my certificate from Coursera, and then
Oh,
I also,
here,
yeah,
3 weeks ago.
share people's stuff.
Oh, you have an engaged network. You had 11 people that liked your certificate from Facebook.
Yeah. Oh,
That's kind
Facebook.
of bonkered.
Oh
Bonkers.
yeah.
Yeah. A completion certificate for social media advertising. Oh, people like you. Look at that.
Oh
People
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
on
That was
here.
for Facebook. Yeah,
So
they're
you have
looking.
potential here. Oh, here's the quote motivation. Okay. So if this is what people do
Yeah.
without any social media insight nuggets, like you have a great possibility here.
Oh, good.
Oh, look, and you had a reshares tend to not always do well. I'm looking at an old reshare of yours that did very well. 14 people engaged with it. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
An
I,
Adam Grant quote. Okay, you have some good potential on here. Holy
oh,
cow.
good, good. Trying to
People
here.
clearly care and like about you. I'll say one of the other
Yeah.
things I'll say too, I tell this to any business, like look through who likes your stuff and like see if
Mm,
there's someone you need to be in touch with, right? Maybe there's somebody that can
mm.
open a door. So I see a lot of people like your stuff. Like always look through the likes and see if there's anybody you should say
Oh,
hi
that's
to.
a good idea. That's a good
Always
idea.
easy. If you like, here's the other thing: like reshares, like I said earlier, don't always do it. Like I reshared something
Oh
this
yeah.
week, but sometimes they miraculously are crazy. But Facebook, or sorry, LinkedIn wants you to make new content. So whenever
Yeah,
possible, new
yeah.
content. Sometimes it likes photos, and sometimes it doesn't. The more relevant the photo, the better
I'll
it
make sure
treats
I
it.
I do it that way because I
Yeah.
started doing Canva art and I would add my logo, which is, well, I got 2 different logos, but either the entertainment logo or the podcast logo, and I started adding that now. But that's on I mainly do that on Instagram. I don't do it on LinkedIn.
It's not it yeah, I feel like it's a very Instagram thing and less so of a
Mhm.
LinkedIn thing. LinkedIn
Yeah.
people like if you're gonna do something on LinkedIn, people you need to hook people in the first few lines or whatever, first few seconds of the video or first few whatever, whether it's your
Okay.
headline, your summary. It's always about the first few words, the first few seconds, the first few everything. First
Mm.
thing with any post, like first, like you only get like the first three lines to hook someone to click the see more button. Because if they click the see more button, it means, oh, I want to know what Sequoia has to say.
Mm.
So that's one thing. The second thing is like, and I told this to like one of my clients who's actually pretty big on LinkedIn. I was like, you got to give people meat, like teach them the thing because your podcast might be the most epic thing in the world. But if they don't
Yeah.
know what's in it for me in every episode, when you're
Mm.
promoting it, let's say theoretically on
Yeah.
LinkedIn or somewhere else, like if they don't know what's
Yeah.
in it, and they don't know what's in it for me, like they're going to miss out on this. So let's say you wanted to talk about
Mm.
motivation based on this episode without getting in trouble with your work. You would pull out and say, hey, like, do you want to find out, on this episode, we find out like the 3 secrets for LinkedIn or whatever. Like, I don't know if I said 3 secrets for LinkedIn. I have no idea. But
Yeah, you
like,
did.
hey, well, then, right. And then in the post itself, like, here's what Shiley shares. There's 1, do this, 2, do this, 3, do this. And then, like, if
Mhm.
you want to watch the full episode, go on to the channel to read it,
YouTube.
but or
Okay.
YouTube, wherever, right? So that's a very different post than just like, here's a nice quote. Well, nice quote is valuable, but you going out and actually teaching them something or highlighting
Mm.
something from the episode or saying, hey, this is what you do on a really bad day. This is from like, here's how Sequoia motivates people and you do the mindset stuff. Give them like a story about
Mm.
mindset. Like I was stuck on this and
Yeah.
this is how I figured it out. And here's what you can do to like deal with the mindset thing when it comes up. You could probably write that way better than I can describe. Right. Um, so like
Yeah.
that's an example, right? You want to give people something that they can say, oh, I'm going to take from this and learn from it, or I'm going to be inspired by this story. That's a lot of
Mm.
the stuff that you want in your content. I don't know if you have a
Mm.
lot of that, but that like people eat
No,
that stuff up like left and right.
I
Or like
don't.
tips, tricks, like insights, how you got into making your podcast, right? Things that you
Oh,
think the tech world needs to
yeah.
get better, right? These are all stories you can tell, right?
Yeah, that's true. I always like, and that's the thing. It's like I have so many topics in my head, but then writing it is like I'm like, what? How do I? I can
Maybe
say it
found
better than I write it.
then say it, then make it a
Like I
video.
probably just say
Get
it.
on
I'd be like,
Clipchamp and make it a
listen,
video.
so yeah, clip champ. Okay, I'm gonna
Clipchamp
write
is
that down.
so
You have to
dumb. It's
email
so
that to
easy.
me.
I have to shout out Video Easy Peasy on LinkedIn because she's the one who told me about it. If
Oh,
you want to
okay.
figure out, was that her? She calls it Video Easy Peasy. That's her company. This lady told me about this platform, and I'm like, it's so simple. It's so dumb. You can even add a logo to the corner of your picture. Um,
Oh,
it's
okay.
very
Clip
quick.
champ. Okay,
Clipchamp.
that's
I
what
think
I
it's
need. Something
simple.
quick.
It's
Something
quick.
quick, straight to the point. Clip.
Yes. And if you
This is
want, then you
perfect.
upload it to Rev. This is literally my hack for making videos. Then you
Oh, this
upload
is
it the
perfect.
video to Rev. And if they're 2 or 3
Mm.
minutes long, it's like pretty cheap. You pay like $5, and then Rev will transcribe it, and then you can have a video. Or you do it for free
Oh.
on Clipchamp, but then you have to like edit it, and it's annoying. But like whatever.
Mhm.
But it's fine. It's free. They do it for free. It's like very weird that they don't
Oh,
charge for this.
good. So
So
that's yeah, because
back
InShot
up.
charges, and I don't really. I wasn't a big fan of InShot, so I just didn't. I just took off the subscription. I wasn't a fan. But a lot of people use it on Instagram to do their videos and stuff. So
Oh, I don't know what I'm like. I just need simple. I need simple done. So like boop to like posting, I can do it in like 20 minutes if I don't
hmm
have to write a lot, which I hate writing. But yeah, use the
yeah.
thing. What we say earlier, use the platform that works for you. The other thing I'll tell you, and maybe there's a dumb way for you to do this. If you can use a screen
hmm
recorder and just screen record a clip of your
Oh
show, and then you're
yeah.
done, and then you don't have to do anything.
Oh yeah. You know what? I did do that, but I don't share it on LinkedIn. I did do some clips. I went into to Canva and edited the video. I did a clip, like a 2-minute clip. And, I just didn't
Perfect.
even I didn't share it on LinkedIn, but it is shared everywhere else, like TikTok. I just got
Oh,
on
cool.
TikTok. I just started doing YouTube a week ago. I just took because
Oh, you're quick.
people were telling me to show my face. They're like, "Oh, you gotta show your face." Like, I had a lot of guests, and they're like, "You don't show your face." So I said,
Aw.
"Okay, fine." So I was showing my face. I'm like, "Here I am."
I
So
mean,
people
you don't
can
have to, but
feel
you
more
can.
personable. Now,
It
some
is.
videos I will not show my face. Like when I do my movie reviews, I like doing movie reviews on here. If I do a movie review, I might not show my face, or because I do mini movie reviews, a quick one. But
Oh, that's cute.
it depends on where I'm at. If I'm in the car and got a quick tip, then I'm not going to do a video. But yeah, I just think it's good to do videos with the guest, and also it's a great way for SEO, search engine optimization, and more visual for people because and people have to learn about SEO. I've been telling people about
I love
SEO,
SEO.
and they be like, "What's SEO?" I'm like,
It's
search engine
magic.
optimization. It
It's the
works.
secret society
Cause
of
so yeah, cause what are your thoughts on YouTube Shorts? Because I feel like the algorithm is iffy. Like I did some
Ugh.
motivational shorts, and it's like it went 2,000 people, and then I did another motivational short and
Oh,
it
wow.
hit like two people. So it's like 1 minute, one motivational short hits 2,000, one motivational short hits two people. I'm like, well, how does this work? Because the
You can't
same type of vibe.
you can't control the platforms. That's why
Yeah.
email marketing is
Yeah.
so touted as like a valuable platform, is because you can control everything, right? You can control all the audience and you control the content, and no algorithm's going to stop you. I mean, there's some email things that can stop you, but like
Mm,
YouTube, like you don't know what the rhyme or reason is. What if you posted it 20 minutes later? It would have blown up. You have no idea. So that's
mhm.
why I'm always like, have the right people and the right information, or if you can direct your people to those videos, drive your own traffic, like that's the only thing you can guarantee. Now granted, the 2,000
Yeah.
views can't hurt. But I don't know, I don't play with YouTube shorts as much, so I don't know the ins and outs, but supposedly they were going to
Yeah.
give me more attention, because if YouTube, and this is like a logic of like social media, like if YouTube is trying to promote shorts and you're like the nice person that's using shorts, of like the very, like let's say you're like, I'm gonna make up a number. Let's say it's 1% of all YouTube users use shorts. Like they're desperate for more people to use it. So if you're using it, they want to reward you because they're trying to push this platform out so they can compete with TikTok or whatever. So like it's the
Mm,
same with LinkedIn, right? Like of the millions and millions of people who are on LinkedIn, only like 1 or 2% post regularly. So if you're one of my followers on LinkedIn, there's a very high chance that every time you go on LinkedIn, you're going to see something from me. Or like if you
mm,
go on every 2 weeks, there's a good chance you'll see my content, because very few people on your list might be people who post regularly. That's like an example, theoretically.
mm,
So there's an opportunity to get seen over and over again. It's tricky. Um, so they might give you an advantage because they're dying for people to make more stuff.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I think YouTube Shorts are great, y'all. So keep that marketing going. Don't give up. And then another question is, what do you think about LinkedIn pages? Do you think that people
Uh,
need it? Because I just feel like it's kind of too much for me, like having a LinkedIn page and a LinkedIn.
Look, this is what's going on. LinkedIn pages, they want, it's like Facebook pages. They want you to pay money for it to be valuable. But I've seen people who
Mm,
do some cool stuff on there, but I just don't feel like they give you enough reach to make it worth your energy. I
yeah.
like to tell my clients to put more of their energy into their personal page, because
Mm,
there's more value there, and LinkedIn likes to like push that stuff out more.
mm,
So if anything, this is what I told. I actually had a client do this today. I said,
mm,
hey, he has a business page. I said, go on the business page and say, hey, this is my business. Um, this is my business. But if you want to, this is my business page. But if you want to see my content, follow me on my personal page. And I've told a bunch of clients this, so that
mm,
you can redirect people to where you want them to go. So let's say your YouTube channel, maybe YouTube is the biggest thing for you. Like, let's say somebody follows you on Twitter and Twitter's not your biggest thing. Say, hey, thanks for following me on Twitter. I don't post as much on here. If you really want to see my content, go to YouTube. Which,
mm,
Gary Vee will say you want to serve people where they are. Or maybe
yeah.
Gary Vee will say, oh, there's like a social media customer success people will say serve people where they are, which is true. But like if you're a small brand, you only got so much energy and you want to direct
Yeah.
people to where they want to go. But
Yeah.
having the page ready to go is great, because let's say Sequoia Blue gets shouted out on like the news or something, right? And there's a
Hmm.
journalist that wants to tag you in the tweet, right? If you don't have the page, they can't tag you. So sometimes I
Oh,
like to
yeah.
have the page ready just in case media moments happen, especially with Twitter. Actually, this is more for Twitter. Anyway, I could have this all
Yeah.
day. There's like so much nitty gritty.
It's so
Um,
much. It's so much when it comes to social media. So many things,
ooh,
gray areas. It's like red flags that people need to avoid. It's so many different things.
good people,
So,
good content. That's literally it.
you
Like
know what?
that,
That's
if you
true.
can cut all the noise out, okay?
Yeah.
Good people that you have relationships with, put good
Mhm.
information that they're looking for. So if you're trying to help somebody, get motivated and get, well, what you said earlier, you like want to motivate people and mindset, encouragement,
Yeah.
then teach them about mindset and encouragement. Because
Yeah.
somebody on your list, and you can tell you already have you have a very engaged list, people care about you, like they're gonna eat it up. They're gonna be ready for it.
Especially if I share a clip of this, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, there she goes." So,
I mean,
so
maybe
I
you're
might
ready for
take,
it, maybe you're not. I don't know.
I might take you up on your advice. Start sharing clips on
It
LinkedIn.
it might be easy, right? I would say like anything less than 3 minutes is not bad. I've accidentally gone a little over that, but like I'd say less than 3 minutes, probably less than 2 minutes, even if you can pull it. Like just clip it. That's it.
Yeah.
Screen record it.
I'm gonna start doing that. I appreciate that advice
Yes.
on my LinkedIn page and everything. Yeah,
Yes.
where can people hit you up when if they want to book you?
Ooh, okay, so you can go to yoursocialmediasherpa.com, where if you want LinkedIn tips, and here's another LinkedIn tip. Actually, if you want me to add you to this, I have a collection of my favorite LinkedIn profiles to give you ideas and inspiration.
Oh,
So you can sign up for it and it gets into your inbox really nicely.
I'm definitely gonna sign up.
Okay, we could add you to it. So it'll be great. So that's my like thing. Like you can have it and you can get my very easy social media tips every week in your inbox. But if you really want my support, the first way that people work with me is, especially if you're a business that's well connected, is I do something called like a video review where I basically stalk you on the internet and tell you how you're showing up, what works, what doesn't, and where your golden opportunities are. I can already tell a golden opportunity for you is that you have a very good network on LinkedIn that likes and cares about you, which means that they're going to be way open to hearing whatever it is that you want to teach them. So I do this video review. I look at everything you have on the internet, from where you think you are to where you didn't know you were, to Google, to your emails. I literally on video, just kind of like what I did here a little bit, like I judge everything and I give you 3 key things that you can do that's going to help you tomorrow. And then from there, people usually sign up to work with me a little bit more in depth, but that's always the way to start. You get stalked on the internet. So that's coming out. And then I'm also, I have like I'm gifting this training that gives you my entire like strategy basically, and you could like take it as like a mini course, and it's like totally public on the internet, but it's, you have to ask me for it right now, but it's going to be on my website very, very soon. So if you want to figure out how to like stay top of mind with your network and be unforgettable online and engage people that you care about on the internet, that is the next best thing. So there's a lot of stuff there, but yoursocialmediasherpa.com, and it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna get tips, insights, and so on. I have YouTube videos too. I mean, there's lots of goodies, but if you want to learn from me, there's hours and hours and hours on the internet, including this podcast. So woohoo.
Yeah, check her out, y'all. Seriously, this is some great information because
Good, yay.
it's hard out here. You got to know which way to go. Get that help if you need it, y'all.
I love
And
it.
before we wrap it up, even though it's just so much
Ooh,
fun, but
we could
I
party
would
all day.
we can have another chat. It's not
Oh
a
yeah,
we'll have another chat on
sequel.
another topic. Yeah, we could probably have something where you're actually showing people tips, or because
Ooh, we could
then
do it.
that'll be great for YouTube too, because a lot of people like me go on YouTube and search for tips, and someone's sharing something and you copy what they do. So that's really important too. So that might be
Oh,
next
I
time.
like it. Yes. Look, sequel. I've done sequels with folks, so I love it. Um,
Hey,
yes.
and before we go, what is a saying or quote that you go by?
Oh, okay, so I wish I wrote this quote myself. Again, borrowing it from someone else, but I love it. Is that social media is about the people, not about your business. Provide for the people, and the people will provide for you.
Yes, I love it. I love
Yes.
it, y'all. See, y'all. That's why I do quotes at the end of every show. We got to see what people are, what their experience is and what's their favorite quotes. This is just motivation, y'all. More motivation for us to keep
Yes.
going. Man,
It's true.
we appreciate you for being on the pod today. And also, I
Thank
want to give a
you.
shout out to Up and Up Design for creating my website, sequoiablue.com. So I want to give
Ooh.
them a shout out. They're a very great company. They can design some stuff for you, get your website up for you, make it look good. And I just want to shout them out. And also, yes, go check out Shaylee's website. We're going to also put in the show notes. So don't worry if you didn't catch it. It's going to be in the show notes, y'all. So thanks.
Yay!
Yes. So thanks everybody for coming on. Peace, be safe, and live your life, folks.
Hey.